My name's Jim Marks. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for 20 years, which is a mighty long time. I do fashion, I do brands, I do celebrities. I've been very lucky. I've used all sorts of cameras, DSLRs, Hasselblads, Phase 1 backs, and now I've kind of moved in the last few years into mirrorless, so I'm going to talk about that. Part of the whole thing about mirrorless is you have to retrain your mind and your approach to taking pictures. A lot of people at that time had only used DSLRs. So they were used to that way of focusing, they were used to that way of operating, and mirrorless does require a small re-education, but the benefits are there if you can be bothered to do it. There's no question, I think using the X100 series has made me a better snapper because I've had to think more. It's not quite as automatic, and you learn to appreciate that when you look at the pictures. I just love the way of working with it. It's just very intuitive. It's really easy. I mean, I should be on commission with this thing. I mean, that's the crazy thing, because in 2010 I got the X100, and every single one of my photographer friends that I showed it to loved it so much they went and bought one, which is really irritating because I thought I was the only one with one. So they must be doing something right, because photographers seem to love it. For me, the X100S is a really logical upgrade. You know, so yes, the simple truth is that it does make that difference, especially in terms of autofocus and especially in terms of low light. Those are the two biggest areas in which it's made another leap forward. I mean, it handled mixed light amazingly. You're in Times Square. It's probably the worst place in the world for mixed light. You've got every form of gel, UV going off and strobing constantly. That is the light, that's what lights it. Street lights are nowhere near. You've got these massive billboards. So this camera did an amazing job in just creating an attractive image, if you like, on auto white balance from all these mixed light sources. I've got X-Pros because I love the lenses. I love the quality of the glass. I mean, again with Fuji, what a lot of people don't realize is they make lenses for all sorts of people, Hasselblad included. They make cinema lenses, which are the most demanding lenses in the world, bar none. And very few people realize is that, you know, when it comes to optics and glass, they are world class. And you know, that's what you see in their cameras. My working kit off the back of a bike or on a plane is one of these and two X-Pros with interchangeable lenses, and that's what I use to go around, and it's so lightweight, it's wonderful. Check in, carry on luggage, check off, much easier. I got this camera, this is the 100S, literally the day before I went to New York, so I took it with me, threw it in the bag, got there, got it out, and I was shooting another job there, but I went out to wander the streets with this. It was literally almost like a wonderful sort of playtime, if you like, in New York, which is a fabulous place to shoot. And we wandered about and we shot loads of stuff. I shot characters, I shot Batman. These are really candid portraits in the middle of the night, 3200 ISO, f2, literally autofocus, running around in sort of the crowds, if you like, and just seeing what this camera could do. And it was really impressive. Even though I had one of the few worldwide prototypes, as I was driving into New York, I stuck it out of my cab window like this and kind of held it and took some snaps as I was going along, just to see how the autofocus would cope, you know, in fast moving traffic, and praying that my cab driver didn't brake suddenly and I would lose said priceless prototype as it tumbled into the street. And that was really fun. So just kind of snapping shots, going through traffic, seeing the skyline, which is just amazing. This is my desert island camera, okay, when I'm not allowed anything else, because it is indestructible and you can get great images and it's tiny. And you know, we talk about the size and intimacy. There was this guy in Times Square, it was one of those guys who wanders around with the boards saying, "Abandon all hope, ye is doomed." And I got this shot just sneaking up behind him with the crowd behind. I was just, you know, you can do that with a camera like this. You know, that's what's lovely about it. You're not going to be photographing racehorses or Formula One cars, but then again, this is the wrong tool for that job. It's a much more discreet package for people, for interiors, for those kind of jobs, and for that it's perfect. So a lot of people have stopped me when I'm using this and asked what kind of ancient film camera this is and from what era it's from, and I've had to tell them, sadly, they can buy one right now. This was and is the first romantic digital camera. Do you know what I mean? It kind of has that romance of an old camera, but totally modern inside.